Welcome back, traders. Are you guys ready for another start swing trade? Of course, let's get to the action. You guys know where you're at. Welcome back. I see you guys in the chat. EKS, Crassy, Walter. What's going on? Wow, Wheat. I was seeing Wheat moving today. What are you guys seeing out there? Hammer, where's Mitch at? I'm sorry. I had to fix my layout there. It looks like somebody deleted one of my layouts. I apologize for that. I had to fix it right quickly. You guys know my layout. I like the way I set it up here for this show. So that's this layout, of course, where I get my charts nice and big. You guys get to see me nice and big. Let's do this, right? All right, team, let's get into the action. Let's take a look at the SPY, see what we're seeing in the market right now as we speak. Let's get to it. Let's talk about the trades that I did today. And, of course, I went swing trade crazy today, guys. So stick around. You guys got a great show today. Smash the like. Let's get this up. Let's get some more people in here. Smash those likes. Hit the share button. What is going on? Why are you know what? We need some more people in here. I'm about to go to my Twitter if I have to, but all right, let's take a look. We got Christian Fromhertz on later today. Stick around. A great guest for us. Let's take a look at the SPY. As the SPY now starting to come up after really kind of a red opening today. And we can talk a little bit about what kind of got this move started. Really, I was looking at stocks today like Google, not doing too bad. Amazon, not doing too bad. Starting to get into strength. Apple was really weak earlier, and we'll see how that ends the day. It's still not even strong here. Tesla is one that I'm taking a little bit of a shot on. Let's talk a little bit about new trades today and, of course, swing trades that I had already on. So Tesla, I opened up a new position, and I'm just slightly in the red here, and I have 167.42. You guys can see Tesla coming down here into the 166.40s. And I'm just looking at it, right, to see what happens here. Big thing for me is I think we could start getting an uptrend right back up. And I really want to see if we can hold this daily low. That's 166.56. So by the end of the day, I'm going to know if I want to keep Tesla or not, right? I want it to start getting a nice little push back towards 168. We'll see what happens. Do got about 167.42 now. I just got a little bit of a pullback fill there at 166.45. So was able to add a little bit. Still going to add one more time if it gets down there into the 166 level. But other than that, I'll cut it down there through the kind of the 164 low of the day, 164.64. We'll see if we're able to get it back into those levels. Really looking for the 166 to be that next add. And then below that, I'll have to go ahead and cut out. But we'll see if that ever even gets down there on the day. There is some other ones that I do have trades on. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about all the trades that I got open. These are brand new positions. The only position that I held overnight is looking good. This was NCLH. That was Norwegian Cruise Line. This was from really, we got in this on Thursday, right? So we held through it on Friday, looking for the rebound here on today. And we're getting the rebound back to 1373. The average for me on Norwegian is 1361. So now in the green here for Norwegian, and I'm expecting this one to really start getting lifting right back to the daily resistance of towards 1450. I'm not even going to sell it there. I actually am looking for a little bit of a longer hold on this Norwegian cruise line. And I felt so confident in the cruise lines today that I didn't just stop with Norwegian. I said, you know what? Let's get after it, team. I'm going for it. So I went after also CCL, Carnival Group. As I talked about that a couple of days ago when I first got Norwegian, that I felt like the Carnival was a little bit too high. I wanted it closer towards 10. Well, it gave me that opportunity 2 days in a row. So today I took my shot in Carnival, got this one at 10.14 today. It's up there towards 10.34. We'll see what happens on this one if it can continue going higher, but not a bad little outlook and pullback entry here. So I'm really going to hold off this kind of 950 area. That's not too bad. I mean, 1014 entry, 950. We're talking about what? About 64 cents of risk. That's not too bad there. So if I'm risking about 64 cents, right, I want to at least make what on the upside? Well, I'm talking a little bit over 380 there on the upside. So we'll see if we can get that like $4 return there back towards 14. So this has to actually make a pretty good move there. But what I'm relying on more along is this is a longer term outlook for a really turnaround to start making this stock move back here on the weekly highs. I'd really like to see a move towards 1150s and 12s. Then this really can get moving towards the 14s. I'll take all the profits and run. We'll see what happens there. This is the longer term swing, and I'm trying to take these longer term swings by coming in them with a small little bit of size, equaling out the profits here in the capital, right? So I lowered this the NCLH sizing because I went after also CCL there. So what I did was I'm balancing out here. I'm actually going for the industry outlook here. And of course, RCL, I would look for this to continue, which of course is RCL, which would be Royal. This one I feel like is just too high up for me to grab it. Of course, this one being the best of breed right now. But if this one can go through the 80s and 90s, maybe making its way back towards 100, we're going to be really looking decent for that NCLH and that CCL trade. But I didn't just stop there in leisure. I also went after an industrial area like the airlines. I've been talking about this move for a very long time, and that's a move that I want to capture in American Airlines. Of course, I've been down there in the 1380s, and today I couldn't help myself on the pullback towards 14 for American Airlines. I stepped in there and got an entry here. I'll tell you guys about it. It's a starter position at 14.19, and you can see we're not far from that. We did get a high move there to 14.31, but I'll look to see if this can continue going. Anything below 14s, I will be looking to add there and risking off the 13 here for American Airlines, as I feel like this could come right back up and start pushing. And I said, you know what? The other day I read a basket, and it was put out by a bank, and I thought, you know what? Why not take more basket approaches? So that's what I'm really going to start working on a little bit more with these swing trades. You guys will see them that I'm not going after just one name in the space. I'm going after multiple names and seeing if I can go ahead and land in the green by separating some of the capital out into multiple names and then just focusing on what? Focusing on the percentage return. Because if I can nail all three, of course, it'll be pretty good green into the upside. But this way, I'm not putting all my eggs in just one basket, right? So I'll show you guys that approach. What I'm doing is I went after American Airlines, and then I went also after United Airlines on this pullback. I like how you have your daily kind of wicks there. It could go right back to the upside, make that move to 47. And then I also went after DAL, Delta Airlines, which is having a pretty decent day right now. We got this one, Delta, at 33.54. This is going a little bit higher now into the 1370s. Now just going to look to see if all these can start moving in the right direction, right? It looks like we had a nice little support around the 33s here for Delta. So I'm going to look for this to push back towards 36 and beyond. Of course, these are the airlines, so I'm taking a little bit more of that basket approach. But let's start seeing if the airlines can start making that up move, especially if we're going to get an up move in the market. And that's where I'm really starting to lean towards, because the bank worries are slowly but surely going away right now. And I think that that's where we need to focus. Of course, if it comes back into play, this could all turn around and we might have to quickly get out of a lot of these swing trades. But I'm taking a shot. And as you can tell, opening a lot of positions. But I didn't just stop there. So we did the cruise lines. I did the airlines. And then I said, you know what? Let's go looking around. Let's see what else I can find underneath the hood today. So I started looking into different plays, right? What's the outlook right now? Well, the outlook right now for me is really looking at the SPY, and that we could be going for a little bit of an expansion move higher, especially if we eventually push through the 420s. So right now, it just seems like the market does not want to turn around and it wants higher. Now, the only question is, will we get that move and how will we go higher? What names will carry us higher? Well, right now, of course, we've seen stocks like Apple above kind of almost a 52-week high, really getting to those nice levels. NVIDIA, stocks like that have pushed higher. And definitely, I'm not getting in front of NVIDIA. Today, it looked very much short in the early part of the day. Look how it's ending the day. This is not the stock for me to get in front of. I am stopping myself and getting in front of this move because I can see that every time shorts line up, they get run over almost every single time in NVIDIA, especially lately. Like these quick sweeping down moves followed by quick sweeping up moves, those are dangerous when you're a shorter. Right now, I don't think it's a stock to short. Even though I've had made some profits on Nvidia short, I still don't think this is one that I want to be in front of. But what does this show me, right? It shows me that we're really close to kind of pushing towards the next levels. And then today I started focusing on what? I started focusing that the banks were pretty strong, right? You can see that in KRE. It continued strong. I talked about this really early on my Twitter. Like always, you guys can keep up with me at MoneyMitchBZ. But you guys could see it. There was some real strength in the market today with the banks. Take a look at Bank of America as that went higher. Goldman Sachs going higher. JPM going higher, right? Even Citi going higher. And then when we take a look at like PacWest that had the negative news, look how it's moving right now. This tells me that right now, at least, the bank concerns are slowly but surely going away. And I think that this is definitely one thing that I don't want to miss out, because this move could keep going, right? And one thing that happened with the banks, right, is that now that we have this move going higher, that's when I started thinking, okay, so what were the moves that we were looking at before we got the PacWest news that we were starting to get a move higher? Well, we were starting to take a look at names like ARKK, of course, and looking into the growth names, right? So shout out to Kathy Wood. You know what, Kathy? I am finally done calling the bear move on you. And I am starting to call a different tune, a full green light approach here. That's at least what I'm looking at. As long as we don't go into some banking concerns, I'm actually seeing a little bit of green behind me. And I'm starting to feel a little bullish, right? And of course, this could all come down and change in an instant. All the things that can change it are going to be probably about the bank concerns, or if we run into any geopolitical issues with China. But other than that, right now, I'm starting to see maybe focus going back to growth names. And if we're going to go into growth names, guess what? I don't want to miss this move. So I know that a lot of times we got to call shots as traders. Right now, I'm calling the shot. And I'm saying the growth trade is bottomed and probably not going right back through that spot. So, of course, Kathy comes into favor today. Look at the move today, team. So we make a move back to 39. We pull back. We catch the moving averages. Now I want to see if we can make a move to 40 and beyond. So I could go after ARKK, or I could look for some names in here to look to get to the next level. Let's take a look at some of the names today that just moved in Kathy Wood. And then I'm going to tell you about some new trades that I've opened up. Twilio, nice little move there. Beam, nice little move higher. This is a therapeutic stock. I'll go to the 15-minute chart so we can see the recent action. Of course, you guys can see that. Beam, nice little move higher. Even DNA moving a little bit higher here. Now creating some nice little bottom. A lot of volume coming in on the recent kind of earnings report. DNA starting to turn around there. VCYT. Look at these biotechs and how they're starting to set up and looking like they want to get that under supply, and now starting to pull back. And now you're really starting to get that demand push. And if you look here, look at this trend line. It's a pretty move here with this stock now moving higher and through the 24s. So any pullbacks to 2450s doesn't seem too bad of an approach to look for in VCYT. And you can see today you broke out of that and continued going on that momentum. So I would look for pullbacks, but hey, to each his own. If you're looking for pullbacks, I'm just going through these stocks so you can see how much bullish you have there in ARKK and some of these growth names. This is what I'm pointing to that I definitely don't want to miss out on. Even a name like Coin getting a little lift today. And I feel like this could continue pushing higher. Why? Because these are growth names. So you know what? I said there was a growth name that I played just last week, and I played it for a little bit of a momentum day trade right here on this channel. And I said, you know what? It's had good earnings. It's pulled back. Why not go after my friend Unity, of course? So Unity, I got some today, team. I grabbed some on the pullback, and you guys can see that's going a little bit higher. Of course, look at the daily chart. You know, this one had pushed up, and that was the day that we were looking for the 29 push, right? Well, today it pulls back right to that 29 spot and starts finding some bounce. So I'm going to look for a move back up here towards the 32s, and it doesn't seem too bad right now. It's up there towards 30s. I'm not deep into the green here. I got in there at 29.71s. So we're talking right here as the stock was getting really strong to the upside, close towards 11.20. And it was a nice little move, right? And so I like the pullback, how it held the VWAP. Now I'm going to look to see if we can continue higher in a name like Unity. So this is why I'm keeping an eye on a lot of these growth names. And I think that a lot of this can keep pushing higher. So we'll see what happens with these growth names if they do want to push. ARKK names definitely getting a nice little lift today. You guys can watch some of those. One name that I went after that's not an ARKK name, of course, is a name that I don't even like on the long term, right? It's just something that I'm going after for the trade. And that is, of course, Carvana. So it took a shot there in Carvana today as I saw the pullback action in this one just looked like it wanted to set up, right? We saw recent action where this kind of pushed higher. Now it's pulling back there towards the 9 EMA, and you guys can see a trend, right? I'm looking for stocks that had nice pushes and are coming back towards the 9 EMA right now for a trade. And you can see a nice little initial pop right back to the upside. We'll see what happens here on the hourly. Can that continue just climbing and holding the pullback here? So I got in on Carvana at 1050. Nice little move back through the VWAP. We got up there towards a high, almost 1150. I'm going to look for a little bit more. They're not looking too bad on this one. I'm up already about 7.5% on Carvana. I'm going to look for a little push closer towards 12, and then I can take majority of the trade off. That's going to be a really nice move there from 1050. We're talking about like a 14, 15% move. Not a bad one there. Taking some shots, and this is actually one of the deepest ones into the green right now. And why? Because I went after the trash, and I went after the trash with the mentality of, hold on. What were we thinking before this? Before the banking concerns came back, I was starting to watch the Cathie Wood names. Well, it looks like they're back in play, team, and I'm going to keep them on watch. Let's go, baby. Red Bull day all day, Raz. You know it. I don't even need the Red Bull today. I'm feeling it. The trade's out there. And a lot of this is also, remember, later in the week, I won't be here. So I'm taking my shots now and trying to get these nice swing trades going into Wednesday. Take the money and run. Why not? Why not, right? All right, let's go to the action. Let's catch up with the chat. How we doing out there? It's good to see you guys in the chat. We got Jay, of course, Farrell Towers, Raz, Walter, Crassy in the house. What are you guys looking at? Natural gas is getting better. I did see that, Michael. Something to definitely keep an eye out. Let's start looking underneath the hood. What's showing up in the market? If you guys have a sector, an industry, or a specific stock, just throw it up in the chat. We'll get to it. All right, let's go into it. It's 3:21. We got about 9 minutes till we get my man Christian Fromhertz on, of course, Tribeca Trade Group. You know he's going to be looking at certain areas, probably semis, things like that in the technology. He always catches what's hot. So stick around, team. Let's take a look into the market and see what we find. Okay, if I take a look at the sectors today, technology leading the way higher. And this was a little bit of a trick move, right? Because the truth is we were getting that down move right out the gates. If you look at the 5 minutes, this is really going to tell you the story. Look at that down move that you got in NVIDIA. Look at the down move you got in AMD. Look how StockX wanted to go, and then I didn't play this higher. I even talked about this on live trading. I was like, this is not worth it to me. And it doesn't look like it really has the drive. Didn't have the drive. It was the other play that had the drive. StockX, baby. It held on that 14, and then boom. Shot out like a rocket to 15 here, and now really looking strong. So let's go ahead and let's delete these lines here. And what do you see on StockX? I see clear liftoff now. Pull back towards 14. Nice little move higher. Now we can start pushing. Maybe we can make pullbacks towards 1460s, 1450s tomorrow. So I will be looking for opportunities on pullbacks in StockX. But for right now, this looks like a nice little move here on the upside. And that shows me what? That the semis and things like this could go higher. NVIDIA, names like that look very strong. But guess what? Doesn't matter. It can still go stronger. And if you look at the daily chart on NVIDIA, what do you see on the RSI? The RSI does not want to turn around. If anything, it's starting to point back to the upside. And if you can look here, overall, RSI for NVIDIA is nowhere near oversold, right? Oversold for me on NVIDIA is an RSI reading on the daily of 32. It went to 32. It came back down pretty close. It got there towards 39. Didn't get there towards the bottom and already is pushing up higher. That just goes to show me that this baby does not want to stop. All right, so we'll see what happens with, of course, some semis, technology names going higher. The fun part is that this wasn't even the big boys. This wasn't even Apple. This wasn't even Microsoft, really. This wasn't even Google. So what is this telling me? There's some more strength underneath this hood. It's in the semis, and we can see it. A lot of equipment stocks having a really nice day here. So just take a look at some of these names. These are some smaller ones, so I'm going to show the smaller ones with the bigger ones. I like to, if you guys like smaller plays, maybe you can keep these smaller ones on your watch, right? So let me go ahead and pull this down so you can at least see volume too. These are daily levels. This doesn't look too bad off this kind of 776 Atom. You got P Lab going higher, semiconductor equipment stocks, AXTI. But let's talk about some of the bigger ones, of course, that you guys want to focus on. You got AEHR starting to come back. This one doesn't look too bad as it starts making its way to 30. You got LRCX, Lam Research, just holding the move here. And you guys can see I drew this out. When did I drew this? I drew this on 420, of course. Kind of fun day for me. But you can see, and this pushed through that trend line, held that throwback look, and then now pushed higher. This right there has opened the door for different moves. Look at this KLAC. So look at that. That's a nice little move higher. And what does this show me on the weekly? That we could push right back to these levels. That's why I kind of extended this back, extended this on March 8th. Look, I'm going to extend it a little bit more. Now it looks like we're right into the 410s. So this just goes to show me that these could really get moving. AMAT, one that I'll definitely put on the radar. Big move up today. And if Lam Research and all these are going to make moves like that, I could see this one really getting moving. So AMAT does not look too bad here as it starts to push and has like kind of this little cup pattern. A lot of kind of volume coming in on this bottom action. So this is one definitely that I'd be looking for some pullback action, see if it takes the next step. Ambarella making a little bit of a step up. But definitely semiconductors are also going to be on watch here now. Of course, you're going to look for different ones now, I think. You got to look for ones that are catching a little bit of some pullback action that could start getting a little move higher. ADI doesn't look too bad there around the 180s. That got a little bounce there. Even Micron, look at that move higher. It showed some weakness. Now it's pushing up. So definitely we're going to pay attention to these semis, but it's definitely a strong day for me today. All right, let's keep going. Michael Burry buying the distressed regionals. Yeah, I mean, you saw PAC-W get a little bit of a lift there. It could have been on that. I know that there's a lot of rumors on that. Burry kind of mentioned the 13Fs. And I take that with a little bit of grain of salt. But, hey, it definitely is going to move some stocks. So that's true. And if that's true about these regionals, you'll probably see them continue to lift. All I needed to do was see them lift to get a little bit of confidence that the market could move higher. And there you guys see it. By the end of the day, we're not going to be looking too bad. We could even turn this green here. Let's see if we get it back up into the green and really start pushing a little bit higher here. Close the day green. That would be looking good. Let's see if we can make a little push here towards 413 at the end of the day. All right, let's keep going. We'll go into different stocks there. Financial services, of course. That's what I'm pointing at. That's what I needed to see to just get a little bit of confidence to the upside. And there you guys have it. Basic materials pushing higher a little bit today. Aluminum pushing higher. Copper pushing higher. So that's a little bit of a turnaround there on like FCX. It was really red. And then you could also see it in aluminum and Alcoa, really red. Turnaround there in those plays. Can we get a day 2 move so I could see the rotation really continue? That's what I'd be pointing at. Agricultural inputs getting a little bit of a bounce. This is nothing that I want to jump at right now. But like I talk about, turnarounds, right? So turnaround plays a lot of the times, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the day 2 move, not just the first turnaround, but can you give me 2 days of strength? That's when I usually start paying attention to an industry or a sector. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look. Metals and minerals, that looks like it's trying to bottom out, but nothing really getting going there. Steel, yeah, you got some bounce, but still not getting excited for me. Gold pulling back a little bit, getting a little bit of a bounce. None of these look exciting for me in basic materials. I'm staying off of that. Industrials look like they're loading up right now, at least on the daily chart. So look to see if maybe you start seeing a turnaround on names like this. So can we get a little bit move higher in Honeywell? can we get beer to stop dropping, right? So will we put in a hard bottom here at the 370 and start working back towards 385? That's one trade that I'd keep an eye out for just to see if that happens. But of course, if we're going to start getting away from low PE names and we're going to go back to the growth names, that's when we can start seeing this go higher. But if the market starts to push, maybe we start seeing a turnaround in this deer trade, the cat trade. I think you got to just keep watch to see their support and seeing if those supports are holding well. All right, another one to watch there, of course, FBX, names like that. If those can hold and not really break down, well, then maybe we can see these industrials turn around. Of course, airlines are in the industrials, so that's also a space that I'll be focused on. All right, I'm trying to show you guys names, and definitely I see you guys in the chat. Is today a picture of last Monday? It feels like it, right? Feels like it, team. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at what else is making moves. Energy starting to bounce a little bit. This is where I get a little bit concerned about the oil short trade because it does seem like oil bounced today and it did want a little bit higher. Let me just take a peek into WTI. I was watching it earlier, but let me just take a little peek right now. I see around 71s. So one thing that I noticed, though, is we're back in the 70s. You guys heard me talk about this. I want to short oil names when oil's heading down below 69. But if we're not going to stay in the 60s for long and we're just going to make our way back into the 70s and 80s, that's when you start seeing these oil names just jump right back up. And if OPEC comes in and mentions another production cut, well, there you see the oil prices. And will OPEC allow the price to get into the 50s? Or will they always step up here and want to keep the price artificially higher by putting out production cuts, right? Well, something to keep in mind. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on there. Team, smash the like. SE, nice little move there. Jay's mentioning, yeah, that's an electronic gaming industry, and that doesn't look like a bad move at all. This shows me that the confidence in ATVI is probably in here for them to start climbing higher. So this is another one that I maybe take a little bit of a longer term swing trade approach, but also might end up lifting Microsoft if you start seeing that kind of work in. But also EA recently just put a nice little move higher, then gave up all the gains here. So this is one that I'd keep an eye out for. If SE is going to have a little move higher, maybe EA comes right back up and comes pushing towards 127, 129, and 131. So I like how there's some under support right here towards kind of like the 124 level today. And then now you turn around from that level. Let's see if we start pushing through 126 tomorrow and get our way back up on EA. Just one to keep an eye out for, right? We'll see what happens. HD is tomorrow. Home Depot going to be reporting. We'll see what happens to Home Depot. Let's talk a little bit about this space. There's an area here that I'm definitely looking at. Is going to be in your department stores. I'm going to be looking to see if those can start moving higher. You started seeing Macy's already start making a move higher. And I know that this seems a little bit weird, but one thing that I can clearly see is that there is some support here, something to go off of. And I feel like these are going to start getting a little bit of a lift up as we're getting retail season to go on. But let's take a look also at a different area that I'm watching. I'm looking at Walmart on the pullback right now. We'll see what happens after their earnings. They're definitely up at the top here around the 155s. I mean, with a good earnings report, it could push through and make its way back towards 160. So that could be an all-time high there for Walmart. And that doesn't look too bad, right? I mean, you're talking all-time highs. It's right at the top there on the monthly. Target is one that I'm looking. Will we finally bottom on Target? This is one that I did not take today, but definitely thought about, team. So I'm going to try to get this one on pullbacks, especially kind of down in that 159. I did get a chance there at 1, but I wasn't on the computer, so I didn't see it there on Target. I really like this move. I can see kind of like a head and shoulders getting out of this spot here. So if we could just hold above this kind of neckline now and look for pullbacks into it, so like a pullback to 159.50, something like that, this doesn't look too bad there on Target. Now it just really needs to get moving. And of course, earnings are going to matter. Costco, another one that I'm keeping on watch here for the 500 move. So it pulled back to 500 today. It's not a bad outlook. I kind of like it here. The only thing is, how do I risk off of it, right? Well, it did make a little move there at 2 p.m. to 500. That gave me an awesome entry opportunity. I could have got in there at 500, risked off 498s, looking for the move back to the 506, and then really feeling confident if we get the nice little earnings uplift there for Costco. And Costco is 10 days from now on Thursday, May 25th, after the market close. This could be a lot higher before it gets to that earnings report. So it doesn't look too bad. I kind of like these. We'll just see if we go a little bit higher. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at what else is being mentioned in the chat. It's good to see you guys out. Quantum, Laura, Smoked Tuna in the house. You guys smash the like out there, team. In just about a minute or two, we'll get Christian Fromhertz in here. He'll be here in just a second, team. Stick around. We got a good one for you today. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep taking a look. Let's see what's going on in the market. How's some of my trading action going on here? Looks like Tesla still hasn't made the uplift here. If anything, it pulled back there. Got me my other entry here. So I'm fully in on Tesla. I got 167.14 average now. So definitely going to hold there towards the low of the day. Want to see if this can start turning around, because really, this is about the only trade I have in the red right now. I got Carvana in the green, Carnival, Unity, Norwegian, Delta, American. UAL is pretty much break even. But Tesla's the only red that I have right now. So I'm watching it here towards the close. And if it doesn't want to bounce soon, we're going to start cutting it here, team. That's what it's all about on swing trades, right? We just can't lose so much, right? That's the key. We're taking swings, but we're also not just going to give it up. We'll see if this can start making a lift here and getting towards the 170. All right, there you guys see it. Of course, we'll keep battling. We'll see what happens there in Tesla. If I got to cut it, I'll let you guys know, of course, if I, for any reason, cut it during the interview. I'll keep an eye on it. Like always, first things first, capital preservation, right? All right, let's get back to the blue light, and we'll see if Kathy Woods really does get the green light, right? I'm going to be watching these growth stocks to see if they start really taking a lift. All right, let me get out of the SPY, and of course, we're going to get to my interview today. You guys smash the like out there. Let's go ahead and bring on the one, the only Christian Fromhertz, of course, group. How we doing?
Hey, how's it going?
It's good to see you on, Christian. And
I'm off mute, right? Yeah. Okay, good. Sorry.
Your Yankees at least battled this weekend.
Yeah, well, Tampa Bay looks just so good. I think they're impressive. And if you're a betting man, I think that's the team to buy on dips.
That's what it's all about, right? Finding the strength and buying on those dips, baby.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Let's talk about this market. It seems like somebody was probably buying on the dip, because we got another little dip today and really quickly bought right back up. What are you seeing, at least overall market, Christian?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of interesting. I mean, there's a lot of, it kind of feels like it's tough with events. Like we've got like the debt ceiling, and nobody, that to me scares me. Even though that this has happened many, many times before, but it still worries me, and I think it worries the overall market. You can't help but look at like the CDS for the United States, and begin to kind of say that, well, that doesn't look good. But besides that, like I think if we can get through that, starting to see. It depends on the day, but it's starting to, on a day like this where the breath is strong, you kind of see a little bit of the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of, growth stocks, which have been doing really well. And, there's been, one of the things, again, because there's always positives and there's always negatives. One of the things that strikes me as kind of positive is to see some of these growth names report earnings and have pretty good earnings. And that was out this weekend. I saw finally like a bunch of brokers who were pretty like negative coming into earnings were like, hey, the earnings weren't that bad, So it's all about the expectations. If the expectations would have been high coming into earnings, then maybe they would have been thrown off a little bit. But I love it when expectations are so low and, there's a lot of bearishness, because it's just an easier bar to jump over.
Yeah. And I mean, like recently I just been feeling like the market wants to go. It's just being almost held back by certain catalysts.
By the macro.
Yeah. And that's when we're really feeling like, man, there's a bull market underneath all this worry right now. And that's where I really am trying to focus, because if I look at the biggest names, right, the strongest names, those have staying strong. A lot of them, I know that we don't, it's not the holy grail, but a lot of them showing those golden crosses, right? Where you're seeing, the 50 past the 200 and really showing strength. Even one stock that now I'm watching to see if we're going to get it, which is Amazon. And you can see how the 50 is picking up with speed there. And then that's what I want to be seeing if I'm going to be looking for the expansion, right? Is what are the names that will also carry us higher from here? Will it be an Apple, right? Will it be a new product from Apple to get a new high there? Google, we already know. AI and Microsoft and Google are just right now, it seems like they can't be stopped if they mention anything AI related. So this is where it gets a little bit difficult here, because the only thing holding me back, I think, is the bank worries. And it seems like we got some pretty good strength today. What did you see in the banks?
Yeah, I mean, finally, I'm watching, but the banks are just a little bit too difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting because I think Michael Burry was out with his 13F filings, and
Yeah.
those I think are interesting because these are the guys and girls who are really doing the homework to say, okay, this is a good value. For me, because I concentrate so much on trends, I'm just not looking into banks in terms of the fundamental, like if they have the fundamentals. I don't know what they
Yeah.
have on their balance sheet, so I kind of let the trend be my judge. But I think, like, some of these, and especially like the ones that you're familiar with maybe locally, could be the ones that you invest in, and you put them in your account. You don't look at them. But I think overall it's just kind of tough. What I'm looking at today, because I wish I had a better answer for you, but
Yeah.
an option flow kind of helps a little bit too, to see, like, who's buying something. But I'm really watching what the IWM is doing too, and of course that has a big weighting in the financials. And I think, I'm not sure if it's still the number one weight in the IWM, but I'm really looking to see if it can turn the corner here, and I'm looking to see if it can close above 174.32, and that would get you back into the value area for the month of May, which I would view as a good sign.
Yeah, feel free if you'd like, share your charts, because I know
Oh
you
yeah,
got
sure.
those value areas ready for us. But definitely, I agree. If we could get the IWM rolling in the right direction, that's going to definitely be kind of the area where I think a lot of signs are going to start to show towards the upside, especially if we could still have the SPY and the Qs hanging out where they are. I mean, the Qs going higher today again and looking like they want to just continue to push up there to towards 326.74 right now. We could, who knows? We'll see if we can make a new intraday high. Intraday high right now, 327.03s on the Qs. So there's some strength out there. Tell us what you see in tech land.
Yeah, Techland. I mean, it's starting to kind of look interesting, and it's tough because you have to ask yourself too this week: do you want to be adding risk or taking it off, or
Yeah.
because we also have a monthly options expiration too, which probably means like one day is going to be show some type of volatility, even if there hasn't, even outside of like the macro events and the debt ceiling or whatever. But there will probably be one day with volatility, but I have to say, I really like what's going on with the semiconductors.
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of been dormant for a little while, and I've been watching this. You've had to be patient with some of these setups. This Lamb Research, which I'm lucky to get involved in today. I threw it in one of my longer term portfolios a couple of weeks ago, but I mean, this is a really nice break of this year's value area. Now, this is a weekly bar, and it's only Monday, which kind of makes it difficult, because if this was a closing bar, like if this was at one day, then I would say, wow, that's a great looking close. But we still have 4 days to go in the week, so I've taken a couple targets already on a trade today. But it's not just Lamb Research. If you look at Broadcom, which is another one that's been like bottled up for a little bit. That's my technical term, by the way. It's just been kind of going sideways, and I love digestion or consolidation or ranges in uptrends, and I love when they start to kind of lean higher and break that level. And so that's Broadcom. It's not one that I've looked at in a while, but just going through scans this weekend. And we actually saw what actually made me look at it was there was option flow. There was some call positioning on Friday. And, Friday was a weekday. And so to see, I like to see like buying on the weaker days. And, that's what we're seeing. That's what we saw for a few different names on Friday. Another one is analog devices. Really hasn't done much in the last month and a half, 2 months, but it just looked like over the last couple of weeks it was trying to carve out a bottom here. Um, since the beginning of May, it's held a support, right? And that's why I kind of use the value areas too, because even though it wasn't doing much, it was at least holding the support. So you got a real nice, green candle for the day there. And then this other one that some people look at too, which is called Nvidia. I don't know if you ever heard the company, but
Oh, sometimes, especially
sorry.
especially those shorts out there. Ooh.
So this is another one it's been, last week there was one green bar and then 4 red bars.
Yeah.
And, again, there hasn't been, it's not like, you missed anything with any of these names over the last week or couple of weeks, but, I'm still in it. I got a little bit nervous last week because it just didn't look good on a couple days, but it's been hanging in there. And like, again, sorry to repeat with the call activity, because sometimes the call activity could be a little bit misleading, but, we are seeing some bullish flows in Nvidia. So I still have my $300 price target, and I'm still kind of holding on and going from there.
Yeah, and
So,
it's not the only one that I think that could really get going now. I mean, AMD's really, it's
yeah.
gone, but has it really gone? Let's just be honest. It's not an Nvidia move so yet, and I think that's one that we've seen some strength. We see that 100, that kind of right above it now. It just held
Right.
kind of the pullback, holding those EMAs and things like this, and the amount of volume that just came in it in the just the last couple of days alone.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good substantial volume.
Since they announced that they might be working with, who was it? Was it Microsoft?
Microsoft. Yeah,
Microsoft. Yeah,
Microsoft.
it kind of just completely changed the personality of the stock. And sometimes I could do that. Like, even if there's no, even if that's not going to happen for a year or 2 years, who knows? I'm not an expert on what they're developing, but it just seemed to really change the personality of the stock. And it made a nice reversal that day. I think it was day after earnings. So, it's kind of interesting, and it's funny, this market, you could either be thinking about things for like, okay, you're buying a quality name in a dip. Now you can look at it and, and obviously that worked after earnings. But now you can kind of look at it and say, okay, maybe the trend is starting to like solidify here. And, if it can kind of, I think if it can stay above this 95.80, then there's something to it. But this one I'm not trading. I've liked some of the other ones. And you can't be in every in every one of
Yeah, no,
these,
you can't. You
you know.
can't.
But
But I agree with what you're seeing there too, and a lot of it just seems like we've had this moment where the Bulls kind of got their chance to digest, and the Bears got their chance to bring this down. And with all the financial worries that've been out there, for us to be where we're at, it just goes to show me that hey, if the market could shake off that, it's going to shake off a lot of things. And it has some underworking of a lot of money managers getting a chance to get in here, right? Let's just be honest. There's a lot of money managers that were on the sideline, and now they have to have had that money into work. So tech is where I could see it kind of leading us higher. And it was interesting today to see Apple not really partaking in the move, not even Google really kind of moving in the direction. It's hanging on there, but not really leading the move today. Now we finally are starting to see some of the market that breadth catch up. Is that what you're seeing, Christian?
Yeah, I was just going to say that's a great observation that you brought up. It seems like the FANG stocks are taking a little bit of a rest, which is perfectly fine, right? Because if you open up Twitter, you hear some people say, "Oh, it's only the 4 or 5." It's the bigger 4 or 5 names that are contributing so much. And so it's nice to see, and they have been doing really well.
Mhm.
Those big names have, but it's nice to see, that's actually what you really want to see in a bull market, is for some names to kind of, charge forward, rest, consolidate, go sideways, and then another group to kind of move up. So I find that, right now, and again, like the way that this market is, and we're still trading in a range, so you can't get too excited. But I like the move in biotech today too. That
Yeah.
was a strong group. Uh, you know. 2 weeks ago, and then it did the same thing. It kind of paused for a little bit, right? It got a little bit ahead of itself. I think this was in the beginning of last week.
Yeah.
Rested a little bit, and now it's up. You got a nice move up 2.5%. So I love to see that names or areas are not getting left. Like, you don't want to see a complete like move and then rotation out of, and it gives back the whole gain. You want to see some backing and filling, back into support. So far, have to say I like what's going on with biotech.
Definitely. We'll see if we get opportunities in biotech. Some major drug manufacturers have been strong for a while now, have been taking a little bit of a back seat. We'll see how those are keep moving. Do you ever do like IBB, Christian, or you just go after the names there?
I actually like, it's tough because you do have to kind of pick the right ETF. And,
Mhm.
right now I think it's been the smaller cap names that have been acting better. They've been the ones that have been getting acquired. So that shifts more to the XBI because that's equally weighted. So the smaller
Nice.
names get the same weight as the bigger names. The IBB doesn't look bad either here too. I mean, that's having a nice day today, up 1.1%. But I just actually switched out today. I was long IBB, and it just really hasn't done it enough for me. So I switched it, and I hope I'm not making a mistake, but I think I'm okay. But I
Yeah,
switched out
I
of
mean, it
I.
hasn't gone nowhere, right? And I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sometimes you're like, man, time is money, baby.
Right. So I made the switch, and I'm now into XBI versus
Okay.
IBB, and I just think that the trend, this could continue where you get some smaller companies here and there. It doesn't mean every day, but maybe once every couple of weeks, maybe one gets bought, and you know. Because it seems like a lot of these names are running pretty decently, the smaller names. So, and it does seem like there's some call activity and some speculation there as well.
All right. Well, you guys, like always, keep up with everything that Christian Fromhertz does. Tribeca Trade Group got all the links in the description below, so you guys can definitely give him a follow. We'll have you on next time, Christian. I'll get you out of here so you can wrap up the day.
Cool. Thanks so much, Mitch.
Take care. Always good to have you, man. All right, let's get back to the market. Like always, smash the like button. Definitely a good conversation there. I could talk to Christian about the markets all day. And definitely great guest for sure, Milky. He's an amazing guy. And if you're not following him on Twitter, definitely give him the follow. I even like his daily wrap-ups. He puts them on Twitter. So if you guys haven't checked those out before, I definitely suggest them. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the market here. I'm trying to look around to see what's going on in Tesla right now. It's getting a little bounce there. We got a bounce there around 165.65. I'm still holding this one right now. I'm probably going to hold it a little bit. I'm going to hold it down there towards those 165s. I think this could bounce back. Got to risk off the 165s though and not push it too much. So 165 is going to be that risk. And it's not always going to be green here, team. I'm going to take a shot there in Tesla because I have a feeling. Yeah, I know that Elon has an interview tomorrow, I think on CNBC. So who knows where this could be tomorrow. I'm going to take the shot. Of course, I could add more down here, but I'm not going to expand the risk, right? Always go about it the way that I planned it, right? And so I filled in those shares that I could get on pullbacks. That got me to 167.14. I can risk down to that 165 and be okay with taking that hit. So I'm going to take that shot. We'll see what happens there on Tesla. Other trades going really good into the green today. Carvana still looking really well there for me. So I'm not taking some profits right now because I think this could continue to push higher. But I'm up 9.62% on that Carvana trade. So a really nice trade there on Carvana higher. I was even thinking about using this one in the small account challenge and taking a swing trade on Carvana, but I just didn't have the trade to get out for the day trade in case something bad happens. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but sometimes you always need to be able to get out of a trade if you're going to get in it. If you can't get out of it, Don't get in it, Mitch. Come on, man. You know that one. But hey, what I did was I said, you know what? I'll just go for the swing trade here on Carvana and see if I could really get this moving back to the upside. Really nice move back to the upside. Caught the dip today. And we'll talk a little bit more tomorrow, of course, on the Carnival, on Norwegian. Took a shot on those cruise lines, took a shot on airlines. I just feel overall that this could be the last chance that I get a chance to get them down here. So I'm taking my shot. ARKK closing not too bad there. Just made a little bit move recent towards almost 39. We'll look to see if this can push towards 40. Some of these names, definitely keep your eyes on that. Roblox not looking too bad. How did Snow end up? I know that was doing well early. Look at that little move higher. Snowflake really getting moving as of last couple of days. And look at that push higher. This could keep going. We'll see what happens there. All right, definitely smash the like. Christian is awesome. Smash it up. I try to watch those market recaps. Hey, check them out, Crassy. They're definitely great. Hit the like button. Carvana going bankrupt. Honestly, that's what I said before, Hammer. And I was even on public saying that I had called out Carvana to go bankrupt. I can tell you right now, I'm starting to see that turn around. I don't think it's going to go bankrupt. I was wrong. And sometimes you're going to be right. Sometimes you're going to be wrong. Sometimes you're going to say drastic things like that too. I don't think it's going to go bankrupt now, but maybe I'm in it, and that's why I'm thinking that. But the truth is, I've been seeing them turn it around a little bit, and maybe they can survive through this period. That's what matters right now. Survival, and then to thrive, hopefully, down the road. That's what they're looking for. All right, Baba definitely in play. Oh my God, I didn't even talk about the Chinese names. It's 354. I can talk about them. Let's get into it, team. FXI is one way that you can look at this. I really think this is just getting going. This trade might be one of the best trades of the week. I'm looking to try to play this, but I haven't gotten the pullbacks that I need. Look at CWeb today. Look at that little move. I was looking at this way early on around 11. This just continued going higher. I want these on pullbacks. Baba on pullback. JD was a nice one today. Look at that takeoff on JD. Nice earnings, came back down, now just really taking off. This is one that I'm going to keep an eye out for. I think this could really start moving. PDD could start moving. Baidu could start moving. If we're going to get this next move in technology, I don't want to miss the next move in this overall action. So definitely keep your eyes on these Chinese plays, as I feel like they can move and then just start going, and it can be gone off these opportunities. So I'll look to see if I can get some pullbacks, whether that be using FXI, like an ATF, a CWeb, or just going after the individual names. Keep an eye on it, and we'll see what happens. But not bad moves there in some of these. All right, we'll see what else is going on. Am I the only one going bankrupt? You might be, Raz. No worries. It's all good. You just let the government pay the bill, right? All right, Hammer. They were trading at distressed levels. Haven't checked yet. Yeah, I mean, Carvana is still in trouble, but I think they're going to be able to make it through. I said that they were going bankrupt. I'm taking that away. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other names here before we get out of here. Oracle, not looking too good here. What's CRM doing? All right, Salesforce pulling back a little bit here after some recent strength here. Now pulling back a little bit, so be careful in that name. I'm going to look around to see what else is going on. How's Tesla getting a little move here? A little move back towards the close. Doesn't look too bad there now as it's starting to bounce a little bit back above the 166 level. All right, let's look around to see what else is making moves in the SPY here and what could keep going towards the upside. Best stocks on the day. Going to take a look at some of those. And of course, we're looking at the S&P 500. So you got Generac with a really nice move here on the day. Don't know why Generac really got moving that much, but a good move there up to 116. Match getting a little bit of a move here. Carnival, I'm not mad about seeing Carnival up there. We've already talked about these semi-equipment stocks. Etsy getting a little bit of a lift. Para bouncing back on the day. Micron going a little bit higher. AMAT definitely one to keep a watch on. Caesars Entertainment pushing higher. Caesars, so maybe Win continuing to climb. That's actually pulling back right now. Let me see MGM. How are these stocks doing? MGM getting a little bit of a bounce. I haven't seen the casinos in a while, but definitely getting a little bit of a push up. I'm also keeping an eye on lodging overall. Hilton looks interesting as they're getting a little bit of a bounce here back to the upside. Let's see if it makes the move to 150. Marriott looks interesting off the bounce there from 174. Hyatt doesn't look too bad if it can get back up towards the 120 area and above. Airbnb was one I was thinking about today, but I did not take the swing just because it's really down there and it just doesn't seem like it's gone up enough. I think once it goes through 110, I can take a look at it. But for right now, I'm going to leave it alone. Why is Intel moving? Let's take a look to see if I can see why it's moving. I think this is more about what's going on. Looking at Intel's recent option activity, looks like there's some acquisition target, Tower Semiconductor. So that could happen too. Maybe it's about the acquisition that's out right now. I don't know too much about Intel lately, but that's definitely getting a nice little lift on the day. Nice little push higher there. Intel, as it gets up there almost to the 20, almost to the 30 mark today. Big push. All right, that's going to do it for us. It's 3:59. That's going to do it, team. I'm going to keep pushing. We'll see what happens out there. I'm definitely going to be looking to see if the Cathie Wood names can remain strong. Will growth names continue higher? That's what this subject was all about there for the day. And that's what I'm going to be watching. That's why I took some shots in Carvana. That's why I took a shot in Unity. How is Unity doing right now towards the close? Not looking too bad. Right back up there to the 30s. I'll look to see if that can continue making a move tomorrow. And taking some shots, team. Overall, I got 8 trades on right now. You guys smash the like if you guys enjoy seeing action right here on Start Swing Trade. My approach, getting to the traders out there that are definitely doing it. Also, Christian Fromhertz, thank you for joining me again. And I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning on PreMarket Prep, of course. But it would actually, AB is going to run PreMarket Prep. So you guys give them hell. I'll see you tomorrow. Smash that like. We'll see what else I get into. I'll be in the chat, though. Don't worry about it, team. I'll just be trading and dicing out there. I'm ready to get into the action. I'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early.